why this fluid coupling is required. What happens without having the fluid coupling in the automotive? What are the advantages we are going to have, and what it will influence on the maintenance, and how it will influence on the operation, and its effects on the wear and tear, and it affects on the smooth operation of the engine. Okay, now what is this fluid coupling? Okay, fluid coupling, in fact, this is also called by another name. What is this? Fluid flywheel. Fluid coupling, fluid flywheel, both are one and same. Okay, so fluid coupling, it is also known as fluid flywheel, and this fluid coupling, it is also known as fluid clutch. It can also be called by another name, fluid clutch. Okay, so what this fluid coupling will do? What is this fluid flywheel will do? The fluid coupling is the device which couples the driving member with the driven member through a media of fluid. What is driving member? Driving member is the engine crankshaft. Driven member, the gear and the road wheels. Okay. Now, this fluid coupling, it couples the driving member with the driven member through a media of fluid. The fluid, it is it is a high viscous fluid. Generally, SAE 25, SAE 30 oil is used for the fluid as far as this fluid coupling is concerned. Any fluid, the viscosity of that fluid, it should be greater than water. Such fluids are used for fluid coupling purpose. And what it does, fluid coupling couples the driving member to the driven member through a fluid. Okay. And what is this flywheel, fluid coupling? This fluid coupling actually consists of two members. The fluid coupling, it consists of two members in which one component, one member is connected to the driving member. What is the driving member? Crankshaft. One member of the fluid coupling is connected to the driving member. And this member, the member which is connected to the driving member, it is called impeller. It is called impeller. And the other member of the fluid coupling, it is connected to the driven member. It is connected to the driven member, and this member is called stator. This member is called stator. Okay, and all these things are shown in figure. I will show you. And the driving member is connected with the engine flywheel. That is, impeller is connected to the engine flywheel, and the driven member, that is stator, it is connected with the transmission shaft. Okay, so what this fluid coupling will do? It couples the engine shaft to the transmission shaft through a medium called the fluid. Through a medium called fluid. Okay, and this fluid coupling will have two members. One member of the fluid coupling is connected to the driving member, that is flywheel of the crankshaft, and another member of the fluid coupling, it is connected to the driven shaft. Driven shaft is nothing but transmission shaft. Transmission shaft. Okay. Now, the two members of the flywheel are not made in contact with each other. The fluid member, what are the fluid member? Two members. One is impeller, another one is stator. These two members are not in direct contact with each other. The driven member, what is the driven member? The transmission shaft. The driven member is free to slide on splines provided on the transmission shaft. Okay, the driven member is free to slide on splines provided on the transmission shaft. The two rotors are filled with a fluid of required viscosity. There are two rotors are provided in the driven member of the fluid coupling. These two rotors are filled with a fluid of required viscosity. That means high viscosity. Whatever the fluid which are going to use, the viscosity of the fluid should be greater than water. The radial ribs are provided to form a number of passages to avoid the formation of eddies. The formation of eddies. And these members are also guide the fluid to flow in the desired direction. These are fluid to flow in the desired direction. Okay. So now, when the engine is started, when the engine is started, I will show the figure so that you will. This is the fluid coupling figure. Okay. So I will tell you how it is going to operate. See, here driving member is there. To the left side, you can see the driving member. To the right side, you can see the driven member. Left side, whatever the driving member is there, it is connected to the crankshaft, flywheel of the crankshaft. Right side of the driven member, it is called rotor. It is connected to the transmission shaft. Okay, it is connected to the transmission shaft. When the engine is started, when the engine is started, the driving member called the impeller, the left side you can see the driving member called impeller, it starts to move inside the housing containing oil. The pockets of moving driving members are completely filled with oil, viscous oil. Due to this, a centrifugal force is created. You can see the direction of the fluid. A centrifugal force is created. The centrifugal force of oil is created, which makes the oil to move outward radially. You can see the direction. The pockets are designed in such a way that the splashed oil will strike the pockets or veins of the driven member. Hence, it is forced to move in the same direction. What to move? The same direction, whatever the driving member is moving, the driven member will also move in the same direction. When the engine speed increases, at the increased speed of engine, at this situation, when the engine speed is increases, the oil which is coming out from the pocket of the driving member, you can see the figure, strikes the pockets of the driven member with greater force, Thus, it tends to the driven member to rotate at the same speed. What it does is the fluid coupling, what it does is it connects the driving member, that is the crankshaft, to the driven member, the transmission shaft, through the uh, fluid medium. Okay, because of the centrifugal force, as the crankshaft starts rotating, the impeller which is fitted on the flywheel of the crankshaft, the impeller shaft is also start rotating. During the rotation of this impeller shaft, what is going to happen is a centrifugal force is created which makes the oil to move radially outward, and it splashes on the pockets of the driven member, whereby driven member also start rotating in the same direction of the driving member. Okay, so it does, both will rotate in the same direction, and it will also see that both will rotate at the same speed. Both will rotate at the same speed. Okay, and another important point of this fluid coupling, if we see here, As we know, the fluid coupling, it is a device for transmitting rotation between the shafts. What are the two shafts? Rotation between the crankshaft and the transmission shaft. The fluid coupling or the fluid flywheel, it is a component or it is a device used for transmitting the rotation between shafts, between two shafts by means of acceleration and deceleration of the hydraulic fluid, that is viscous fluid. And if we consider the fluid coupling, it consists of an impeller that is on the driving side. It consists of an impeller acting as a pump. The impeller, whatever it is fitted on the flywheel, it acts as a pump. The impeller on the input or driving shaft, and on the driven shaft we can see the runner. It is also called the stator. Okay, a runner on the output or driven shaft. Both the component, both the members, the impeller as well as the runner, impeller is on the driving shaft and runner is on the driven shaft. Both members will contain fluid inside these members. Impeller and runner, you can see the figure. Impeller and runner are bladed. Impeller and runner are bladed rotors. The impeller acting as a pump. The impeller, it will act as a pump. It will act as a pump, and the runner reacting as a turbine. Runner, that is on the driven shaft, it is reacting as a turbine. If we look into basically the impeller, what the impeller will do? Basically, the impeller accelerates the fluid from rear its axis, at which the tangential component of absolute velocity is low, to near its periphery, at which the tangential component of absolute velocity is high. A centrifugal force is created which increase in velocity, which is represented by increase in the kinetic energy. The fluid mass, the whatever the fluid which is contained by the impeller, that fluid mass emerges as the high velocity from the impeller, which is impinging on the runner plates, which is on the driven shaft. Impinges on the runner plates, which gives its energy and leaves the runner at low velocity. At low velocity. Okay. You see the figure correctly how it is going to operate. And as far as this operation is concerned, it is quite simple. An automotive fluid coupling consists of a split housing which is rotated by the engine crankshaft, that is impeller. Inside the housing is a driven member. It is called runner. Runner. This is another member of the fluid coupling. And the driven member is connected by a shaft to the gearbox. What is the gearbox? That is the transmission shaft. The transmission shaft connects to the gearbox. The driving member, it is mounted on the crankshaft. Whatever the driving member of the fluid coupling which is mounted on the crankshaft, this member is called impeller. This member is called impeller. The driving, that is input member, and the driven output member. Driving, that is input member, is impeller. Driven output member is runner. The driving and the driven members are very close with their ends facing each other and enclosed in the same housing, so that they can be turned without touching each other. Both the driving member, that is the impeller, and the runner will not touch each other, but they will be rotating. They will be turned without coming in direct contact with each other. The liquid or oil is filled in the housing. The liquid or oil, it is filled in the housing. The flywheel housing, you can see the figure. The flywheel housing is divided into a number of cells by means of radial veins. These cells correspond to similar openings in the driven member. Okay, and you can see another figure also. This is how the rotation will going to happen. N1, it is the driving member. N2, this is the driven member. N1, this component, the speed of N1, this component is impeller. N2, that is the speed of the member of fluid coupling which is connected to the transmission shaft. This is a runner. Okay, this is a runner. And how exactly it works, you can see the direction also here. When the crankshaft turns, the driving member or impeller, it rotates. The fluid flows outwards due to centrifugal force created and circulates from the flywheel to the driven member. Now we can say the fluid which is forced due to centrifugal force towards the driven member, this fluid, it tends to rotate the driven member. What is the driven member? The runner. It tends to rotate the driven member because the fluid is also carried out. The fluid is also carried out around by the driven member, so that the fluid which tends to rotate the driven member, whatever the fluid carried due to centrifugal force, it tends to rotate the driven member. It tends to rotate the driven member. That means here ultimately what is going to happen? The torque is transmitted. The torque is transmitted from the crankshaft to the gearbox shaft. Ultimately, with the help of this fluid coupling, torque is transmitted from the crankshaft to the gearbox shaft. What is gearbox shaft? It is nothing but the transmission shaft. The liquid coupling is not suited for use in ordinary gearbox. Generally, it is used in conjunction with epicyclical gear trains. As far as this thing is concerned, this is how it is going to work out. Ultimately, the outcome of this thing is fluid coupling is torque is transmitted. The torque which is developed by the engine, it is transmitted to the transmission shaft. That is the gearbox. So what are the advantages of this fluid coupling? What we are going to achieve by having this fluid flywheel or fluid clutch or fluid coupling? By having the fluid flywheel or the fluid clutch, it gives smoother power take-up than the centrifugal type when engine is accelerated. Particularly when the engine is accelerated, the fluid flywheel will provide smoother power take-up than the centrifugal type. Another advantage associated by having this fluid coupling, the fluid in the coupling behaves as a cushioning agent between engine and gearbox in order to absorb shocks during braking and coasting down on the engine. So the fluid, whatever the fluid which is made available in the fluid coupling, it is going to behave as a cushioning agent. Cushioning agent means it will absorb the shocks, whatever the shocks are there in the engine and the gearbox, it will absorb the shocks whenever the braking is taking place, whenever the brake is applied. Okay, by having the fluid coupling, it does not require the separate pedal or lever to operate as far as the fluid flywheel is concerned. and the driving member acts as a flywheel on the crankshaft. Thus, it smoothens the torque variation, the torque transmission from the engine crankshaft to the gearbox shaft. Okay, the wear by providing this fluid coupling, there is no wear on the moving parts. No need of adjustments are required. No maintenance is necessary except maintaining the required eye level with the required viscosity of the eye. As far as the construction of this fluid flywheel is concerned, it is very simple in construction. Okay, so car can be stopped in gear and moved off just by pressing the accelerator pedal shaft. Whenever the engines which you don't have the fluid coupling, the engines, the vehicle has to be stopped in the neutral. Okay, the advantages of having this fluid coupling, the engine can be stopped in any gear. Okay, and engine can be started in any gear, whereas the vehicles which don't have the fluid coupling, the engine has to be stopped, engine has to be started at neutral position. Okay, and what are the disadvantage of this flywheel? What are the disadvantages of this flywheel? Okay, so as far as the disadvantage are concerned, a drag is produced on the gearbox shaft. Even the slip is also, a small variation in the slip is also expected. Otherwise, it is by providing this component, of course, it is an additional component, it is an additional device whereby we are going to increase the cost of the vehicle. Whatever the increase in cost of the vehicle, it will be compensated in long run of the vehicle by having the fluid coupling or fluid clutch or fluid flywheel. This is how the one point you remember, the fluid coupling, it transmits the rotation motion from the crankshaft to the transmission shaft. It transmits the torque produced by the engine shaft or the crankshaft to the gear shaft. Okay, so we are going to have a smooth operation and the wears are reduced. Maintenance is not required. This is how the fluid coupling or the fluid flywheel it works. Okay, now we should discuss about another very important component, that is propeller shaft. Okay, just we'll start how it is going to work and we'll discuss it. What is this propeller shaft? It is a mandatory component. One point remember, it is mandatory component to have better operation. Okay, propeller shaft, it is very much essential for any vehicle. What it functions, how it influences on the engine performance, on the vehicle performance. So here we are going to discuss about the engine performance and the vehicle performance. If the engine performance is good, vehicle performance is good. If the torque conversion is better between engine and transmission shaft to the road wheels, then the vehicle efficiency is good. We have to look into the engine as well as the vehicle. Vehicle in the sense, the movement of vehicle, the movement of wheels of the vehicle on the road. This is how we are going to discuss. Now we should see what is this propeller shaft. One point remember, this propeller shaft is also called the driving shaft or the drive shaft. Then what is this propeller shaft? The propeller shaft is a driving shaft which connects the transmission main shaft to the differential of the rear axle. The differential we are going to discuss in the next class. Okay, so the propeller shaft is a driving shaft which connects the transmission main shaft. What is the transmission main shaft? The shaft of the gear shaft, the output shaft of the gearbox. The output shaft of the gearbox is called the transmission main shaft. The propeller shaft is a driving shaft which connects the transmission main shaft to the differential of the rear axle. It transmits the power. It transmits the power from gearbox to the rear axle. What is meant by rear axle? We are going to discuss in tomorrow class. The propeller shaft, it transmits the power from the gearbox to the rear axle, to the rear axle with the help of universal joints, with the help of universal joints. Okay. So first point you remember, the propeller shaft. The propeller shaft, it connects the transmission main shaft. Left side you can see the top figure. The top figure, left side you can see the transmission main shaft. Okay. Right side, it is the shaft which connects to the rear axle of the wheel. Okay. The propeller shaft, it connects the transmission main shaft to the rear axle shaft with the help of universal joint. With the help of universal joint. Then what is the main function of this? Before we discuss how it works, we should see what is the main function of propeller shaft, what it does. One point we remember, one point we understood, that propeller shaft, the propeller shaft, it connects the transmission main shaft to the rear axle main shaft. Okay. One point you remember, transmission main shaft is the output shaft of the gearbox. The rear axle is, this is the component which connects the two wheels of the front, two wheels of the back, and whatever the number of wheels contained by the vehicle. Okay. What is the main function apart from this connecting? What this propeller shaft will do? Apart from connecting transmission main shaft to the rear axle shaft, what it performs? The main function of this propeller shaft, it connects two mechanical elements or components. One is the driving element, another one is the driven element. One is the driving element, another one is the driven element. We can say the propeller shaft, it transmits the torque. The propeller shaft will transmit the torque or the turning moment. Remember this word, remember. The propeller shaft will transmit the torque or turning moment from the gearbox and power from one component to another component which are apart at some distance. See, a gearbox shaft is at different location. The rear axle is at different location. What this propeller shaft will do is it connects these two components and it transmits the torque produced by the gearbox to the rear axle, and it also transmits the power of the transmit gearbox shaft to the rear axle shaft, which makes in turn the vehicle, the wheels are going to move on the road. Then what are the materials made up of this propeller shaft? This is very, very important. The material selection for this propeller shaft, this is very important. This you keep in mind. Okay. So by using different material, we are going to have different performance, but the best performance material we should select. The common material for construction of this propeller shaft, which is used, is high quality steel of SM45C. I will give you this in your this thing. I think I shared the notes, it is there. And due to high specific, what is the high quality steel material is used for construction of propeller shaft? due to high specific strength and high specific modulus, the advanced composite materials like epoxy composite, carbon fibers, glass fibers, and thermoplastic polyamide, etc., are also used with suitable resins and are widely used for long propeller shaft. That is, long propeller shaft is used for heavy duty vehicles. Long, so in general, for general car or buses, okay, which are for light duty vehicles. Here, the high quality steel is used for certain specific operations. The materials used for this propeller shaft is epoxy composite, carbon fiber, glass fibers, thermostatic polyamide with suitable resins which are used for long propeller shaft. That means for heavy duty, that is for defense vehicles or bulldozers or whatever you can say. Okay.